Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, and simply talk about the sport of boxing in a level-headed, mature, coherent fashion. Definitely, you know how we do it here, man. Subscribers since day one, recent subscribers, I appreciate each and every one of you. You are all awesome, you know what I'm saying? I really appreciate you. Thanks so much for tuning into the Flash Lives, you know, the previously scheduled lives. Mostly Flash Lives, because that's what I mostly do, you know what I'm saying? Premieres of the videos, playback family, salute! You know, thank you so much for commenting in the comment sections of the videos. If you're a new listener, you know, this is a platform where we simply love the sport of boxing. I mean, if you love it, this is for you. This is definitely a place for you where you can openly, freely chop it up, you know, and express your opinion freely, you know what I'm saying? As long as it's coherent, you know what I'm saying, and mature. Mainly mature, that's what I'm talking about. That's how we do it here, man. You know, child's play takes somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? Got no time for that. Hey, I want to talk about, you know, this whole thing with, you know, the possible fights that we have lurking in the shadows, Lord willing, next year. You know, Devin Haney, Kambosos, you know, everybody knows the story there. And Lomachenko, hey, he's checking it out. I kind of use the graphics from my last live, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I don't really have time to get, you know, too crazy with the graphics in this thumbnail, at least. But Lomachenko's lurking in the shadows, too. He's checking them out. He's like, hey, man, I want a piece of y'all. I want a piece of them belts. Yeah. Because you're not a true champ if you don't have all the belts. According to Lomachenko, yeah, whatever. But anyways, yeah, I want to talk about, and this is mainly I want to focus on what the promoters are saying. And to a certain degree what the fighters are saying, obviously. Because a lot of what promoters say doesn't really happen, right? Let's just be realistic. You know, it doesn't really matter who it is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, you know, Oscar De La Hoya, whatever promoters are out there. There's several out there, right? Doesn't mean it's going to happen. What they say doesn't mean it's going to happen, you know what I'm saying? I personally, you know, want to see Haney and Kambosos next. But let's see what the promoters have to say, right? Promoters, plural, because we're going to check a couple things out right here, okay? So we're going to get to a couple articles here, and I just want to get right to this, man. Let's get it right here, boxing scene. .com, obviously, you know, link in the description, right? So we're going to check a couple articles here, and we're going to check a tweet or whatever, Twitter, right, in a moment, too. Hearn says, realistically, May is probably right time for Kambosos Haney undisputed fight. His undisputed fight. Okay, so let's check it out. It says here, this is quote from, you know, Eddie Hearn. I think realistically, end of April earliest. But realistically, May... Okay, so... You see, that's the first thing that gets me with Hearn, you know, like, and I'm not trying to, you know, disrespect anybody or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? You know how I do it, man. You know, you say realistically one thing and now you say realistically another. It's like, you know, Eddie Hearn, man, I mean, that's the thing about him, you know, and all these promoters, generally speaking, you know what I'm saying? You know, Bob Arum, too, I mean, but Eddie Hearn's the guy, you know, he's always in front of the cameras, man. I mean, this guy, he says so many things, and you just, you know, you can't really take everything, you know, as, you know, it's gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? I take a lot of what he says with a grain of salt, because this guy does too many things. He says too many things, you know, in front of the camera, man. I mean, just he speaks too much, man. I mean, it is what it is. I guess he's doing his job as a promoter, whatever people say or think, whatever. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, my opinion is that this guy just jabs his mouth off way too much, and you know, realistically, end of April, but realistically, yeah, whatever. So May is probably the right time, okay, for the undisputed fight. So he's projecting April, May. Realistically April, then he turns around and says realistically May. Okay, so doesn't even know. It looks like he doesn't even know what the heck he's trying to say. But yeah, so May. Let's just take that, okay? So Eddie Hearn, head of Matchroom, blah blah blah, right? Okay, so and you go down here and this, you know, talks about the fighters that we all know about. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so it says here. Eddie Hearn continues to say this, okay? So he continues to say, obviously, both are coming off tough fights. Kambosos tougher. He got marked up pretty bad. Okay, note Hearn. Okay, realistically, we're looking at May for Devin. So he reiterates that May, okay? That May time frame for Devin to fight Kambo. I'd like to see Devin take a nice break, okay? Get back in camp maybe early February. The issue we have to resolve, okay, here we go, is the travel issue with the pandemic. Right now, we can enter several parts of Australia with quarantine, but that could change. I mean, this is all up in the air because of the freaking pandemic and all these freaking variables or whatever the heck's coming out, whatever. But, we don't know, what I'm saying? That's why, for one, we don't even know if this is going to happen, what I'm saying, because of the Australia stuff. But let's see what he continues to say. It's interesting. Okay, so he says, quote, "We don't rule out doing the fight in America or the Middle East." You see that there? So we're down here. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and... So we don't rule out doing the fight in America or the Middle East. Okay, so it's... Okay, I want to say something here in a moment, okay? It's the Undisputed Championship. It's an important fight all over the world. We'll explore all of those, okay? It's not just we're packing our bags and going to Australia. That's where George would like to do it. We have to be represented properly in this situation as well. Make sure it's the right situation for Devin Haney to be in. There might be many offers. Now, I think he's referring to this, okay? When he says there might be many offers, I think he's referring to these Middle East rich guys or, whatever, entrepreneurs who are interested in investing in the fight. Now, doesn't this sound familiar? Doesn't this sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? Wasn't he talking the same talk concerning the fantasy fight between Tyson Fury and, you guessed it, Anthony Joshua, right? And this whole arbitration stuff, what Wilder was pushing, what I'm saying, between the rematch and the trilogy, wasn't, do you guys remember that? Wasn't Eddie Hearn doing all that jabber? Oh yeah, I got some, very, very a lot of investors, the Middle East, and they want to invest in this fight, and I know rich people who want to really invest in this trilogy, or I'm sorry, this undisputed match in the Middle East, and it's just you see what I'm saying? That's what I refer to all this jibber jabber stuff, man. You're pushing too much stuff out there and just yapping your mouth off way too much. He said the same thing about Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, ladies and gentlemen. Come on now, remember that? Bob Arum was even yapping his jaw off about that. While Wilder was in the arbitration and pushing that and getting that in order, fixing that and arranging that, and as everybody knows, the trilogy went through. Wilder versus Tyson Fury, which was a great fight, man. Amazing stuff right there. That went down in the history books, definitely. But my point is, wasn't Eddie Hearn doing that jibber jabber, man, about Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury? Totally blatantly ignoring and, not considering Wilder in the whole equation when Wilder was doing his work behind the scenes. You see? It kind of just goes to show, man, these guys that just jibber jabber a little bit too much and smack their jaws too much, I mean, that's probably not going to happen. I really want this Cambo and Haney fight to happen, but here we go again. Hearn saying all these things, but it doesn't mean, sorry about that, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, right? But I take it with a grain of salt, man. So now he's going back to saying the same thing that he said about Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, fighting for undisputed. He's saying the same thing here, man. The Middle East, it's undisputed championship. It's an important fight all around the world. He's saying the same thing before, So, I don't know, man. And he said the same thing about that. There might be many offers, back when he was talking about Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, that, a lot of people, are interested in investing in the fight. But that was during the pandemic. It meant probably a little bit harder to do that. But, it's just something interesting I wanted to mention. Now, if you go here to Michael Benson, this guy, the source guy in boxing or whatever, link in the description. Yeah, you check it out. Okay, so it says here, Bob Arum. Okay, check this out, man. Bob Arum now has said they've been led to believe that the WBO are going to order Vasily Lomachenko as mandatory for George Kambosos Jr. He added that they'd be happy to do it in Australia if the pandemic allows it. Once again, the pandemic, obviously, right? But he's talking about he's led to believe. So it doesn't mean that's what I'm saying, like, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't mean that this is written in stone, what I'm saying? But then again, Bob Arum, everybody knows that. WBO and Bob Arum, they have that, behind the scenes relationship going on. They know what's up. I think Bob Arum knows something that's going on behind the scenes. It can be that Bob Arum knows something that's going on behind the scenes with the WBO. You see, that's why I put Lomachenko in this thumbnail. It's like, hey, let's not count out Lomachenko either. Even though maybe people, we all want to see Haney versus Kambo, man. That's what I want to see. You know, I want to see this undisputed match go down. This would be just amazing, man. You know what I'm saying? It would really go down in the history books as well, this fight. You know what I'm saying? 135, undisputed, go at it, you know? Canelo just got undisputed at 168. You know, and now this, Josh Taylor, etc., etc. McCaskill, female boxing, pro boxing, amazing stuff, etc., etc. You know, so this would be awesome, you know, but I'm kind of led to believe this, man, that Kambo and Haney probably won't happen next, man. You know, I think I said this before in the last session. I don't remember, but I just don't see it materializing. Just as I don't see Bud Crawford and Errol Spence materializing. It doesn't matter how much these guys call each other out, man, on Twitter and going on their freaking, you know, social media page, going to the beach. Hey, Errol Spence, where are you? Big fish, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Now, Eddie Hearn is speaking for him and his fighter. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. I say his fighter because whatever deal they got going on there, you know, some people say that, you know, Eddie Hearn and Haney's a free agent, but we all know that he's in association with Eddie Hearn. Whatever the heck they're doing there, whatever's going on there with the business deal, whoever's promoter or if Haney's, I don't know. You know, it's Devin Haney Promotions. I don't get into those details. I freaking don't know. It's too complicated for me. But you know, I'm saying this because Eddie Hearn, I guess we can say generally speaking, is speaking for his fighter, right? For his fighter, Haney. So, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen, though. You know what I'm saying? Haney also is speaking for himself because, you know, I mean, they're in conjunction in what they're saying. They're in agreement, they're in accordance because they really want the Kambo fight, man. And that's what I love about Haney. He always pulls up on these guys, man. That's what I love about Haney, you know what I'm saying? And obviously the skill set and everything he does in the ring, but like, you know, that's awesome. He just pulls up on these guys. You can tell he wants to fight. That's what I'm trying to say here, ladies and gentlemen. You can tell Devin Haney wants this fight. He wants to fight with all these champs, man, with all these top guys. That's what I dig about him. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, the freaking the politics and all this stuff gets its dirty, disgusting nose in its in the way, and it prevents these fights from happening. Now, this is kind of what I think is going to happen, but who the heck knows, right? I'm not the best person predicting things out there. There are other experts in that. That's not me, whatever. But, you know, that's why I speculate, you know what I'm saying? Where we discuss, critique, and analyze the sport of boxing. That's why I always say on my videos, at the introductions, I analyze it, I speculate it, you know what I'm saying? I'm just not so sure, man, Haney and Campbell is going to happen next, man. What Bob Arum is saying here, ladies and gentlemen, we got to consider that. You know what I'm saying? Even though we should take with a grain of salt what a lot of these guys say, you know what I'm saying? But it's interesting that Bob Arum is saying this, that he's led to believe that the WBO are going to order Lomachenko as mandatory for Kambosos. Now, this video right now that I'm pushing, it's before the Lomachenko and Comey fight, okay? Now, it's funny because these guys are just looking past these opponents that these guys are going to fight. Like Lomachenko, he has a Comey fight. By the time you watch this video, the fight probably already happened. I say that so many times. You know what I'm saying? I think Vasyl Lomachenko is going to win, but I've been freaking, oh my gosh, predictions, I suck at that sometimes. Oh my gosh, dude, you know, because of the upsets, because these underdogs coming up, showing out, giving tough competitive matches, whatever, right? But I think I really do think that Lomachenko is going to win this fight, okay, against Comey. But if Comey, you know, wins, wow, that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping because I'm not a man fan. You know what I'm saying? I just love the sport of boxing, and I love to see great matchups, and I love to see surprises, and I love to see fighters go at it 100. You know, definitely, may the best man win. That's just my perspective. I really don't care who wins. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a man fan. You know, I do root for certain fighters though sometimes in matchups. It's just what it is. That's just the nature of the sport of boxing, right? We all root for a particular fighter. You know, sometimes I do root for specific fighters. For example, Porter and Bud. I was rooting for Bud. I was rooting for Porter in that fight. I wanted him to win, but you know, it is what it is. I've always said in the videos, in my lives or whatever, you know, may the best man win. You know what I'm saying? I had Bud winning though. You know, I knew Bud was gonna win. You know what I'm saying? But I was rooting for Porter. But it is what it is, man. I wasn't tripping over the winner. That's awesome. You know. I personally think, man, Lomachenko is going to beat Comey, but if Comey upsets or something, whatever they call it, right? I mean, that's awesome too. But Bob Arum is looking over that. But, man, you know, that's what I'm saying here. He must know something here, ladies and gentlemen. He must know something. You know what I'm saying? So he's talking about he's led to believe. You know, why would you be saying that? You know what I'm saying? I think he knows something, man. You know what I'm saying? So he's led to believe that the WBO is going to order that. So that's what I think. That's what I'm trying to get at here, ladies and gentlemen. I think that, you know, Campbell is probably going to take a mandatory shot or whatever and fight whoever the mandatory may be. And because remember, he has 3 belts, man. Yeah, stupid franchise stuff doesn't count, okay? You know, got the WBO and all those other belts he has, whatever, right? I mean, you got mandatories for each of those sanctioning bodies, those belts, right? So he's probably going to turn around, man, and make Campbell, is probably going to turn around and make get a mandatory fight out the way. With Lomachenko, I'm not so sure, though. That's a big risk fight, man. That's a big risk fight. That's a big risk fight right there, man. So I'm not so sure if Campbell would like that, even though Campbell did say he wants an exciting fighter. I've said this before, man, when he, you know, talking about that, what Campbell said, I just, you know, this all leads me to believe that Haney is not going to be next. You know, Eddie Hearn can blab his mouth off, say whatever he wants, you know what I'm saying? But I just tend to believe it's not going to happen next. You know what they do, man? They milk these things, man. They milk it and they try to build it up and make it the best they can. You know, as far as revenue, the best numbers they can in figures and whatever, you know. And then Haney's probably going to have to turn around and fight somebody else. You know, I think that's mainly what's probably going to happen. Now, we don't know. Imagine that, man. Just imagine. Yeah, I know I'm looking down the line, but, you know, I just love to speculate these things when it comes to sport of boxing. I love it, you know what I'm saying? What happens if, you know, Campbell and Lomachenko do get it on? And if Lomachenko wins and he gets some belts back, man, that's just, you know, Lomachenko is going to have to face Haney. Because I humbly think that Lomachenko didn't want the Haney fight whenever Haney was calling him out, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny how Haney called Lomachenko no Machenko or something like that. Because he doesn't want to fight me, he said. He said, no Machenko. And I think it's true, man. I don't know if, you know, but now that Lomachenko has tasted defeat, yeah, a lot of people out there say, yeah, Lomachenko won, whatever. I mean, okay, the judges ruled that he lost, and he lost, okay? Let's just talk about it officially in that context. He officially lost, okay? And I think he did lose, okay? But whatever. Now that Lomachenko has tasted defeat for the second time, okay? Let's remember that. He lost against Salido. I think it was his second fight, pro fight or something against Salido, whatever. Lost that too. But now that he has tasted defeat again and losing all those belts, and I've said this before on my last live, man, that, you know, Lomachenko's coming back with a vengeance, man. He's coming back with passion. He's coming back with that fire, ladies and gentlemen. He's ready to go. And I think this time around, if he fights Campbell and if he wins, I think he would not hesitate to take a Haney fight. You know, I think he would not hesitate to take a Haney fight. But we'll see, right? So it's interesting that Bob Arum's coming in the mix and saying that you know, he's led to believe, right, that, you know, they're probably going to order, WBO's going to possibly order mandatory for, you know, to fight Lomachenko. So we all want Campbell versus Haney. We all want to see undisputed, but unfortunately, I think that's probably not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Politics messes it all up, man. You know, it really does. You know, what happened with the whole WBA thing with the Ugas, you know, it's just crazy. Y'all know what's going on. You know, and all these sanctioning bodies have dirt one way or another. You know, but it seems like some sanctioning bodies have more dirt than others and more blatant about it, you know. So, yeah, man. We'll see what happens, though. Definitely, man. May these guys rest up, Haney and Campbell, but not rest up too long. Don't get these freaking layoffs. It's going to jeopardize you, okay? So we'll see what happens, man. Definitely, you know, Renee Box Young. What do you guys think? Go ahead and subscribe if you're a new listener. If you love sport of boxing, I reiterate, this is a place definitely for you. Hit the notification bell so you know I do these premieres, you know, on Flash Lives and things of that nature when I push content, generally speaking. Hey, follow me on Instagram also. You know, Twitter, obviously. I got my Twitter accounts, and it's all in the description, you know, always on my videos and content. It's all in the description there. You can follow me there, you know, Renee Box Young and Instagram and on Twitter. you know, staying active in those platforms and on boxing scene. You know what I'm saying? I love. Sometimes I do. It just depends on my time. But, you know, I love going back and forth and just, you know, collaborating, chatting it up with people on boxing scene. They got a forum, and it's fun there, man. I'm there too. So, you know, I just love sport of boxing. So it is what it is, man. Thank you guys so much. Go ahead and comment in the comment section. What do you guys think? What do you guys think will happen next? I personally think Haney and Kambo is not going to happen next. But who the heck knows, man? I'm wrong. I can be wrong. I don't know. Whatever. But, hey, what do you think, though? Go ahead and chat there. Go ahead and throw down there in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think, man. Thank you guys so much, man. Renee Boxing platform. Simply discuss, critique, analyze, simply talk about sport of boxing, level-headed fashion. Go ahead and like it up. I appreciate each and every one of you. Peace out, fam.